Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I decided to come in here for a few minutes to talk about something that's just grinding my freaking gears about the Atlanta Falcons Washington Redskins game. And it's really, really, boy, that press conference really got on my nerve. Now, those of you, I think that Uncle Steve might be on right now with Big Low. Uncle Steve might be on with Big Low, and I think Larry from the Dixon Way. And I'm just going to be here a few minutes because Hawks basketball is coming on. And I decided just to pop in and talk about this because this doesn't make any sense to me. Just doesn't make any sense to me. And because it's just so egregious, I have to say something about it. And I'm going to go back to Raheem Morris's interview. Tidy Jones had it on. And those of you who want to join me, I got the link in the chat here. But it's something that Raheem Morris said about the timeouts that he didn't take. Now, I have the game, and what I'm going to do, I'm just going to say, hey, something about this just doesn't rub me right as far as being a head coach in the National Football League. And okay, Mr. Davis, Todrick Davis, sir, I really appreciate it. He's saying that he's a huge fan of mine. Well, sir, don't set your sights so low. There are better people doing this. I've been doing it for a while, and I just have to come on every now and then when stuff like this it's just a burr under my saddle. And what I'm going to do, I've got the television on, and I'm looking at the game, and I'm going to try to get it right there at halftime. Okay, I'm going to try to get it right before halftime, so that we can discuss what it is that just really that Raheem Morris said. Now, all right. Matter of fact, we're at the point. Now, let me paint the picture for you. It's 46 seconds. I'm gonna go through the play. 46 seconds. Drake London has just caught a pass and slid out of bounds for 46 seconds. So the clock is stopped. The clock is stopped. The next play is going to be a pass to Mooney. Next play is going to be a pass to Mooney. Mooney catches the pass, gets a first down at the 22-yard line. Now, there are, let me make sure we see in here, there are 36 seconds left. 36 seconds left. We still have 3 timeouts. We still got 3 timeouts. Okay? We don't call them. We don't call the timeout. The clock is ticking from 36 seconds down to, let's see what we're going to end up in. I think it's 20 seconds. It's 20 seconds before the ball is snapped. 16 seconds go off of the clock. And the pass to Mooney only took about 8. 16 seconds go off the clock. No timeout call. You've got 3 timeouts. The ball is on the 24-yard line. You got 3 timeouts. The play takes 8 seconds. Going up to the line takes 10 seconds. And time's just wasted. And the explanation from Raheem Morris was that, especially on the not calling the timeout in the second half prior to the end of the game or end of regulation, his reasoning was, I thought we could get to the line quick. So in this first half, what ends up happening, you take these 3 timeouts, all 3 of them, and they disappear off the television screen. Poof. Unused, uncashed, just like a 6-month-old lottery ticket in Georgia. Because if you don't cash in a lottery ticket within 6 months, the money is gone. That's one of the rules. The money's gone. Same thing with the NFL. If you don't cash those timeouts in before the end of regulation, they are gone. All 3 of them. And you didn't use one. Not nan timeout did you use. Why? Why didn't you use a timeout? At least one of them. To preserve 16 seconds on the clock. And the excuse was, we wanted them to stay in the same defense they were in, not make any substitutions, and we could catch them in that defense. So what I'm hearing is, you want to trap someone in a defense and let that particular defense that they have on the field dictate what you are going to do on offense. Really? Is that how we play in football? Is that how we doing this? You know, I just can't understand. I just can't understand how in the world, you know, I just can't understand how in the world you are calling, what would we call that? That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make any sense. And see, with 16 seconds, now I'm looking at what Todrick Davis is saying. Okay, he gave 92-9 the game, that he didn't want to subject Penix to the 0 blitz. That's why he didn't call timeout. But with 16 extra seconds, you could have run the ball. With 16 extra seconds, you could have run the ball. Why did it need to be throwing downs when you had 36 seconds left? Let them do whatever the heck it is that they want to do. 0 blitz, 5 blitz, 8 blitz, whatever. You got Bijan. You got Algier. And you do have Penix. Play action pass. You got 16 extra seconds. You ran 2 plays, 8 seconds apiece. You ran 2 plays, 8 seconds apiece. And you took 3 freaking timeouts into the locker room. 3 timeouts. You know, I don't, I can't accept that. Can't accept it. Can't handle it, can't accept it, can't, you know, that I can't tell anybody that. And you know, if you're going to ask Bill Belichick, you know what Belichick is going to say. Should have taken the time out. Now, this is a philosophical conversation because, you know, different coaches have different philosophies. They see things differently. But this sounds like, smells like, feels like an analytics call. This feels like analytics. You know? And you know, I see what Todrick says. He said, I don't agree with that logic. You didn't want to subject an NFL quarterback to a 0 blitz. That's a fireable offense to me. And that's a huge problem. I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you. I definitely, that explanation, because right before the end of regulation, that completion to Mooney, where he didn't get out of bounds, that definitely should have been a timeout. You definitely should have called a timeout then to preserve time on the clock. There's no way. There's no way. You got to preserve time on the clock. You weren't going to have but a couple of shots at it. And I'm going to run the film. And I see what Keita has weighed in and said, Raw was bothered by Mike Bell's questioning, but I think they were softball easy questions. They were easy questions, but hard answers. Because logically, in the first half with 3 timeouts, second half with 2 timeouts, come on, man. Come on, bruh. If you're not going for the touchdown, you're supposed to be at least trying to get down there in close field goal range. Now, I had no idea that my kicker's leg was limited. Because, see, you know, when 56 yards, I was thinking it was cool out there. Hey, 56 yards, man, I can do that in my sleep, in my dream, me. But in the NFL kicker, hey, man, you know, you in Washington, now one thing Winston did say was that the wind was kind of swirling, okay? And the wind might have knocked that kick down. It might have knocked that kick down because the wind at ground level, the wind midways, and the wind above, they could be going at different speeds, blowing different ways, things of that sort. Now, I was looking at the flag, and I didn't see the flags move. When the kick was made, I didn't see the flags moving, so it might not have factored in. But the problem is that you could have at least gotten your kicker closer. You could have at least gotten him closer. You know? And then you would have had an extra play. Because, yes, what I'm going to do, Gonna get out of this right quick. Go back here. See if I can find these key plays. And I see I have a guest that popped up. And there's Red. What's up, Red?
What's up, man? Hold on, let me hit the volume.
Okay.
Dang.
Well, I can hear you pretty good. I can hear you pretty good. And I just had to pop up in here because I saw that.
I didn't want the YouTube to be overlapping with the
talk. Okay.
If I don't hit the mute button, you'll hear StreamYard and YouTube.
Okay. But let me see. What's
going on, man?
Man, I heard that press conference for the first time today. Now, I caught a little bit of it yesterday when it actually happened, but I heard that press conference today. Man.
Yeah, I heard it yesterday before I went to work. Yeah, him and Bell. What was it, Duke and Bell?
Mike Bell and Ron Tribble. Yeah, Mike Bell and Ron Tribble. Ron Tribble was sitting in.
I mean, it just bottled down to accountability, John. Raheem refused to take accountability for his mistakes. And that's all the man was asking him. Just take accountability. Just say, look, I made a mistake, because their frustrations are our frustrations. We fans, we all frustrated. We had the division and the game in our hands. We didn't even play our best ball that game. Was up. We blew a 10-point halftime lead. And in the end, you still had a chance to win that game. And your head coach Rock Radio Rockhead that he is, blew it. He blew it. Just pretty much just handed the Commanders the game. I mean, because they were defeated. They probably thought, man, the game over with, y'all. Commanders probably thinking about who we play next week. We got a chance of getting the playoffs when we got that ball back. When we got that ball back with a few seconds left, I bet even they were saying, well, shoot, all they need is a field goal. It's probably over, fellas. I bet they were shocked they went to overtime.
Yeah. And see, this is the thing.
Stupidity. I mean, stupidity all the way around.
Yeah. I mean, inexcusable. And see, the thing is, see what Keely wrote. Now, did you listen to the interview? Ray?
Yeah, I heard.
Now, did you see how he was snapping back at Rob Tribble as well as Mike Bell about some of the stuff? Yeah, well, you don't never listen to what I say anyway. So, but this is what happened. Blah, 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 blah.
Like, dude,
and I mean, he old.
Acting like they did something wrong. No, Raheem, this is your fuck up. You messed up. You don't need to be taking shots, acting entitled, taking jabs at anyone. You need to be on here explaining why you messed up and explaining why we should trust you ever again.
Well, I look, and Mike, Tribble asked him that. Because when Tribble led up with this question, he said, look, I've been a Falcons fan all my life. I love the Falcons, and I'm rooting for you. But, from what I saw, what you did, the fan base is turning on you. What do you have to say to the fan base that makes them want to put their faith in you? Well, no. You acting like a little boy. What are you doing? And see, right. my thing is that he dealt with the buildup instead of answering the actual question. Okay. And see, my problem is, all right, now I've wound my tape at home to when Mooney caught that pass on the right side and didn't go out of bounds. There's 33 seconds left.
Yeah, you got I saw it yesterday. 33, it was 33 exact.
33 seconds. You're supposed to call a timeout there so that your people can get up to the line and get ready to do whatever the hell it was that y'all wanted to do. But his excuse, well, I'm going to say reason. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt.
No,
his reason. Hey, I'm trying to play show host right now.
I know.
I'm trying my best to play show host.
You're trying to be as fair as possible, but
I'm trying to play show host right now. But there is something, you know how them cuckabugs get in between your undershirt and your shirt to be sticking you. I'm being stuck right now. I'm fighting it. And welcome Keely El Jefe to the arena, to this makeshift arena.
Start calling Keely Jack Reacher.
John, he must have got under your skin because you pulled a double this week.
Yeah, I did. Well, he did, man.
Hey,
he did.
You heard that press conference yesterday. It's a few folks that went on.
Man, shoot. I mean, but what he said don't make no sense. Doesn't make football sense. It sounds like analytics. It doesn't sound like football coaching. It sounds like analytics. Well, we looked on the slide rule, and in the Excel program, it says that you're supposed to do this in this condition, and you're supposed to do that. Oh, hold it, boss.
John, you almost got the right word. Instead of analytics, it sounds like idiotics.
Yeah.
The thing that bothered me the most about the interview was that, like the media down south has always been criticized for being soft. Like we don't ask the tough questions. We play, we're regarded as a lot softer than like New York City or Philly.
Oh, we are.
Yeah. So he really didn't get.
We wasn't yesterday, fortunately.
But the thing about it, Mike Bill, they asked direct questions, but they didn't ask him anything like what I would expect in like New York or so. For him to kind of start taking it to get so defensive and start taking shots at them, that rubbed me the wrong way. Because
me too.
Like that's what we got on Arthur Smith about, right? How he would talk to the media, but that's the part that really stood out to me because I didn't think Mike Bell or Rob Tribble asked anything that was out of bounds. They just asked direct questions. And for him to start taking shots at them, to me, that said a lot because I've seen people get way tougher questions.
Yes, they do.
If this was New York or Boston, man, Raheem probably wouldn't even survive this long.
Yeah, I mean, and see, this is the thing. The question, like I said, when I saw your comment, you said Rob was bothered by Mike Bell questioning, and they were softball easy questions. Yes, they were softball easy questions, but the answers were hard because the answers damned you. The answers damned you because, okay, I was just talking about the first half. Where you had 3 timeouts.
Oh, yeah, because it happened twice in the game.
That's see, I didn't even deal with this, the end of the game. I didn't even deal with the end of the game. I was dealing with the first half because somebody brought it to my attention. I think when we had our show day before yesterday, someone said something about it, that he did this twice in this game. So I had to go back and look. And doggone if I didn't see it, with 30-something seconds, you sit up here and let 16 seconds just run off the damn clock. You got 3 timeouts and didn't use them. Didn't use not damn one of them. And here we go here in the second half with 33 seconds left. Mooney is not out of bounds. This is a 25-yard pass that you're having to come up to the line of scrimmage. Okay, 25-yard pass. Now, all of the seconds that you in this time frame here at the end of the game, end of regulation, you need every second. There's no way that you're going to get up to the line of scrimmage in 2-3 seconds, spike the ball, and and stop the clock. His excuse was we had them in the defense that we wanted them to be in.
Oh my
and
God.
I think Todrick was saying that I don't agree with that logic. You didn't want to submit him to a zero blitz. If you had those 16 seconds, oh boy. If you had called that timeout, if you had called that timeout, I'm expecting your offensive coordinator to go on the sidelines, draw up a play where we can, run the ball straight up Peachtree Street.
Sitting up here coaching like a little scared about something. They gotta get those exotic defenses. I call time out. Time. Man, stop acting like a little pussy cat. A scary coach.
Well, it sounded like he didn't want to give the other team the opportunity to I guess,
substitute.
Yeah, but like John say, your offensive coordinator, you supposed to have a few plays already in your pocket for just this particular situation. 2-minute drill, you need to have some plays already ready. You supposed to be practicing this shit.
Yeah, it just seems like a gamble because someone made the point, I think on ESPN, they was like, you got 5 offensive linemen, right? That way you expect them to run up the field, get set, like all within a certain amount.
You're expecting 300-pound offensive lineman who just got out of a fight, okay, to get a loose, chug up there and get to the line. And man, cause I'm gonna take Keely. In the first half, when they had those 3 timeouts, Mike Tirico said we ought to call it. He should be calling a timeout here. Well, he didn't, and 16 seconds run off. He said it again after this catch by Mooney. Twice. I mean, the host is saying this. Chris Collinsworth ain't said a word yet. But the host, the analyst is saying this. Okay. Now, that doesn't make any sense. That's just dumb to me. Okay. Now, given Bill Belichick given a microphone, you know what he said. I don't know how to call the timeout. Hey. And why y'all shoving the microphone in his face first all the time? What y'all doing, ESPN? What y'all doing, Fox?
And Mike Bill asked a really good question. He said, you said that it's a process. Can you describe what's this process? And he got an attitude with him for that. And that was his words. He just asked a valid question based upon what he said. You said that it's a process. He asked him to elaborate on that process in terms of timeout.
But you know what, Keely? You know why he got upset? Because he knew Mike Bell was gonna walk his ass into that dumbass comment he made talking about I'm not in charge of calling timeouts. That's where they were going with that question, and he knew it, and he tried to get. That's why he started getting attitude because he knew where they were going with that question.
But it's just a call of accountability because it's your words. He's just asking you to elaborate on your words, and that is the frustrating part about Raheem, because just like how Arthur Smith didn't win nobody over in the press conferences, Raheem isn't winning anyone because he's evasive. He doesn't want to be held accountable, and he's evasive. He talks around everything. He talks around every direct question. And I think, of course, he's going to be given a lot of rope because no one wants to fire him after 1 year. But the same way Arthur Smith hung himself in the press conferences, Arthur Smith probably would have still been the coach if he wasn't so bad in the press conferences. I think that is going to doom Raheem too. If he doesn't, he should at least learn from Arthur Smith, because Arthur Smith probably still would have gotten another year if he just wasn't so bad. If he didn't come across so arrogant in the press conferences and talk down to people.
And I think didn't he do it to Arthur Blank? And Arthur Blank was like, "That's the last straw." Because I think when he trying that crap with Arthur Blank, when Arthur Blank asked him a question or something at the end of the year.
I know what you're referencing. I remember, I think when Arthur Blank went on public broadcast station and interviewed and discussed the firing and everything. And I remember he said the conversation was contentious, but I don't remember every single detail about it. I know that it didn't end well, as in they didn't necessarily leave on a good note. But I don't remember how it went. But to Millie Mills' last comment, yeah, that's exactly what I think of. He's a car salesman. You ask how many miles, he just talks around it. Like,
yeah, and see, yeah. And Millie Mills was gonna say, exactly what you agree with and what I was gonna say, because see, man, look, Raheem Morris will sell you that extended warranty whether you need it or not. You might have a brand new damn car, and that dog, and the way he talking fast.
The only difference is he does it with a smile. Arthur Smith wasn't smiling. It's the same thing.
Right.
That's the only difference. Raheem does it with a smile. Arthur Smith was being an a-hole and always looked bothered.
Yeah. But the look insulted that you even dare to ask him that question. How dare you? Well, how dare you ask that doggone question? But okay, now before I get to King Rich's question, it was something else that bothered me that he said. I'm getting old. I had it on the tip of my tongue, but I can't ask it, so I'll go to King Rich's question. He said, if Tampa does lose and we make the playoffs, do you trust Ra to have the team ready? Well, tell you what, I'm going to say this. Whether we trust him or not, he coaching Sunday. He's the head coach Sunday. I mean, whether we trust him or not. And the team was ready Sunday night. Was ready Sunday night. Okay. It was a failure by the coaching staff. And once again, we were making mistakes. There were certain things that we didn't do, and there were missed passes because that sluggo that Bijan Robinson ran. Oh boy. If he had laid that in there, man, good grief. That was a touchdown. That was a touchdown. The pass that he threw in right before the end of the half, he was throwing in the middle straight to Bijan, doggone linebacker, just standing back there looking, just trying to see where he was going to go with the ball. Okay. Now, my thing is that there could have been some runs mixed in there, especially at the end of the game. 33 seconds left. You had time for a run if you had called the timeout when the man, Mooney had caught the ball and didn't go out of bounds. You called a timeout there. You got a whole playbook to use, man, with 33 seconds. And, coaching scared like that, I just can't agree with it. I can't go along with it.
You said something that kind of brings up a question. I don't want to skip Richie's question, but you brought up something that kind of brings up a question for me. So when you mentioned the sluggo that he missed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you attribute those misses to the rookie learning curve, or do you think this will be something that's consistent? And the reason I ask this is because I watched him at Washington, right? And when he was quarterbacking, it was pretty much all or nothing. Like, I'm trying to think, it was Polk, Dunze. He had like 3 receivers. All of them were averaging like 16, 17 yards per catch. Like, it was like all or nothing. And one of the biggest criticisms, and Coach brought this up on Wednesday in his report, was the intermediary passes and touch. That was on his draft report, because the thing was, when he was at Washington, it was literally like gone.
Home run, no base hits, all home runs.
He was swinging for the fences. He has an arm that cannot be denied. However, everything seemed like they were home runs.
Yeah.
So based upon what you just brought up, do you think this is just purely like it's a learning curve rookie, or this is gonna be consistent? Like, because that's who he was at Washington, in my opinion. Like it was just home run shots.
Is going to be consistent based on what Coach said last night, the scouting report. And see what I'm saying. All right, you came into camp, you were selected because you got an arm. You got an arm. You got a doggone missile launcher on your left shoulder. All right.
So real quick, I just looked it up. Doomsday averaged 18 yards a catch. Polk averaged 17 yards a catch.
Yeah, he was throwing. Like I say, it seemed like it was nothing but the fastball.
See, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, okay.
Now, if it was baseball and Kirk Cousins was the starting pitcher and you put Penix in as a relief, those high heaters, hey, that's what I expect for you to do. I expect you to throw them doggone high heaters, but this ain't baseball.
Right. This ain't baseball. Mariano Rivera.
Yeah, and my point about that is, okay, when you drafted him, the man got arm, got a cannon, got a howitzer on his left arm. Looking at the doggone scouting report, it says he needs work on the intermediary throws. He needs work on the touch throw. So what is your quarterback coach, offensive coordinator, quarterback coach, assistant supposed to work on first?
The
mid-range throws. Okay? Because those throws, just like the one that he missed, he missed the throw right before halftime.
He missed a few of them in that game.
Well, the one I wanted to specifically deal with is the one where a window was right there, where you drop it right between the safety and the corner.
Yep.
To Mooney. You overthrew him. You overthrew him. All right. If he, man, see, the thing is that that's why I hold them responsible, accountable. I have my foot in their behind. I got a shotgun up against their head, and I got a knife at the throat. Because y'all supposed to have improved upon this before this man came out. Okay. Now because there was a pass that he threw to Bijan that he tried to lob over the linebacker that was coming in. Bijan had to climb the ladder to get the pass. Just did get it and got control of it before he got hit. So that's where the work needs to be done. That's what I'm talking about. That's where the work needs to be done. If you got a problem with touch throws, intermediate throws, taking something off of it, between, okay, you saying Kirk Cousins is supposed to be helping him, which I don't agree with at all, because what can you tell anybody? Okay. So and TJ Yates, I mean TJ Yates was so bad that Arthur Smith wouldn't even let him coach his quarterback. Neither one of them enough to name him quarterback coach. Okay, so and had a damn running back coach trying to coach his quarterbacks, which was Bass Ackwards. But that just says volumes to me about the faith and trust that you had in a former quarterback that used to be a quarterback coach. But you got him, you retained him, and you got him training Penix. Man, no. Dang.
I don't like coaches who don't know how to put together a respectable coaching staff. I mean, for everything we said about Dan Quinn, I mean, at least his coaching staff was respectable. I mean, half his coaching their own team.
He had a very logical plan when he came to Atlanta, and he has a very logical plan when he knows defense, and he got somebody who knows offense in both situations. So
Raheem don't.
He went the nepotism route. My homeboy. he went the homeboy route. I like the fact the most respectable was that retaining Jerry Gray, but I mean the Dan Quinn thing. He went out and said, "Look, I'm the best DC out here, and I'm finna go get the best offensive coordinator out here, and we're gonna pair up in Atlanta." And then he turned around and did it again in DC and got the best offensive coordinator that was available.
Yeah, hey, Cliff Kingsbury. He was man, but I'm gonna tell you
about it. Even Sark won. Now I think about it now, Sark won that bad. It just we should have just kept somebody.
But that's the thing about Sark. He knows how to. He can scheme up an offense.
Right.
He did it at USC. He's doing it at Texas. He did it at Alabama as an assistant. He just I mean, you can't take that away from him. He can draw up some plays.
Well, the problem was that they didn't allow him to do that. He really didn't do anything as far as the offense was concerned until his second year here, because they made him use Shanahan's playbook. Same thing with Cutter. Made them use Shanahan's playbook. And I have clippings and sites that say as such. The man was hamstrung and handicapped because look, we had just come off of the Super Bowl. The offense worked. The offense worked like hell. But if it's not yours, do you know what you're doing?
Yeah, the thing is, but in every single case with Quinn, they were proven entities. Like he got someone that was proven to be successful in all three hires.
Yeah.
Whereas, he got with your boy Raheem, he grabbed two guys who were unproven, unknowns. We don't know what. I think that's the big difference. I think Quinn, their boys ran out, but I wasn't mad at him as a coach.
Yeah, it is. And welcome, Ron.
What's up?
What up, Ron?
I wasn't able to get on C Double's show.
Yeah.
Before he went off, because I would have been on there cussing on his show too.
No, I think everybody had an extra show this week.
Yeah, man. I mean, look, when you drove the car off the cliff, and that's exactly what happened. We just drove the damn car right off the damn cliff.
He did.
They did.
What got me thinking?
Raheem was driving with a damn liquor bottle open.
What got me thinking? I was like, you got timeouts. Why he had not used no timeouts? Then what he said on the radio, you just made it even worse. So now the fan base, we split up. Some of us like you, and some of us like we don't know that fool.
Yeah, I mean this is boy. I mean, like you said, Ron. What he said in the interview, man, you just asking for a damn ass whoop.
It go back
for somebody to whoop your ass.
Right, it go back to when I first met Keely, and he told me, he was like, "Run," and not what you said and how you said it. So I use that to like, did Raheem really say that shit?
Yeah,
I mean, yeah. Now, Ron.
He was scared of the exotic blitzes, Ron. That's why he didn't want to call time.
I'm looking forward to the end of year press conference when he has to get up there and talk at the end of the season. I'm looking.
Right.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be good.
That's gonna be the trigger right
that he was going off on. They're gonna be there.
But
that's must see TV there.
But do they bring that? Do they bring that energy? Like, will you change up? Will you do something different this year? Will you bring these blue balls back when they bring that energy? like the New York Giants media or Philly or Pittsburgh, the 49ers or whoever else been winning, when they bring that energy to the press.
I think we got one for sure that's gonna be there that's gonna ask those tough questions. That's Zeno. But when Tidy posted today, kind of has me thinking, right? So Tidy posted where Steak pretty much kind of backed up
Oh yeah,
Mike Bell.
I saw that. Yeah,
and that got me thinking, like would they like not necessarily team up against Raheem, but you know what I'm saying? Like, would they protect their own at 92.9? You see what I'm saying?
Right.
They kind of go at Raw like that. That would be interesting. I know Zeno is gonna ask those questions though.
Well, I mean, I just saying, make it make sense. Make it make sense.
Well, I'm gonna say this. As far as protecting their own, I'm thinking it's gonna be every man for itself.
You think so?
Yeah, cause now State, not with State though, not with State, because State still got a lot of that New York in it. And I remember him and Zeno were at they were at that first press conference where Arthur Smith and Rich McKay was sitting up there, weren't they?
Might have been.
Yeah, because they were hollering from the back.
Yeah.
Them jokers were hollering from the back, hollering and fussing. What? But that don't make no sense, Coach. Did I call on you? Did I call on you?
You dummy.
But it just, I wish I was there. I'd be like, you bit dummy. What? What's the matter with you?
He called the week.
I put my money on Rado that they still won't get a straight answer from. I think he's still gonna tap dance around everybody. I think they're gonna be tough on him in that end of year press conference. But I still put my money on Rado. You're not gonna get a straight answer.
I mean,
we need to be in Philly, man.
Philly.
Oh
fans.
man, no.
Philly fans, they don't play the BS.
I know.
I just feel like if you haven't got a straight answer from Rod by now, he's not gonna fold.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Man, look. I told you he's gonna sell you that extended warranty.
Yeah, that's why
you got 3 years, 36 months from the factory. He gonna sell you 5 years, 60 months. And the first 3 years you don't need because you already got the factory warranty.
My thing
I'm disappointed because I endorsed this clown. I mean, I didn't want Belichick. I wanted Harbaugh, but I didn't feel we were gonna get Harbaugh.
I wanted to be a bad check.
Yeah, me too.
I know what he brings. I know what experience he brings.
Well, hindsight now, yeah, because I know Belichick would have called him.
No, it made sense then. My only fear with Belichick was he was gonna hire his son and his nephew to
I didn't want that. Yeah. I didn't want that. But if you look back at Bill Belichick's whole football career, if you look back at Bill Belichick's whole football career, coaching wise, he made teams better than what they were.
Hold on now. You must have forgotten.
He made.
I think he won 11 games in Cleveland.
Yeah, 11.
With Bernie Kosar.
He made them better.
He was about to get fired by New England.
Well, what I'm saying is there was no. He had just got to New England.
Had they continued on with Bledsoe and they lost that year, Belichick was probably gonna be out.
He was in like year 2 when Brady took over, I believe.
I know. And they lost
what I'm saying is he got a championship in like year 3 or 2 in New England.
Well, as soon as Bledsoe got knocked out, he won the Super Bowl that year. with Brady.
But here's the thing: Brady wasn't Brady then. Like that was just defense. That was just defense. Because Brady,
that's what I mean.
Brady wasn't Brady, but he didn't take the chances that Bledsoe put like this. Bledsoe was an established quarterback that would go out there and do his own thing, whether he would throw interceptions or whatnot. Brady was just gonna go out there and manage the game. Wasn't gonna turn the ball over.
Well, what I'm saying is like that whole first playoff run, like Brady only threw like one touchdown the whole playoff run. It was just run the ball and that's what I'm saying. It was just run the ball and play defense. But Brady could have been substituted with like a lot of quarterbacks at that point. He wasn't Brady yet. So I think
what I'm saying, he made that Patriots defense. We did not know them. We did not know nobody on that defense.
No,
some of them same pieces from that 96 team was still on that Patriots team.
But what I'm saying,
see, wait a minute. Let me ask
well,
this.
He won in year 2. He won it all in his second year with New England in year 2.
Right.
Because New England, Parcells, when did Parcells take New England to the Super Bowl?
96.
Brett Favre.
It was against wasn't it against the Giants?
Brett Favre.
Against Green
Brett
Bay.
Favre and the Packers.
Oh, it's Green Bay. Okay.
Yeah.
Because
Andre Rison got a ring with them that year.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
Bledsoe,
because the Sharp got hurt.
But see, wait a minute. Now Parcells took New England to the Super Bowl too.
Yeah, and Bledsoe was the defensive coordinator on that team.
Bledsoe?
No, not Bledsoe. Belichick. Belichick was the defensive coordinator.
Okay. Belichick's defensive coordinator, and I thought Bledsoe was the quarterback, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was the quarterback in 96.
All right. I remember.
I'm looking it up. It was
my whole thing. Bill Belichick bring that experience.
Now look, Keelan, when you looking it up, look how many players on defense that they had on that defense that they still had on that Super Bowl team.
But Bill Belichick bring experience.
Lawyer Malloy.
So the defensive coordinator for that. Hold on, you know what? Bill Belichick was on this team. He went to DC though. He was the assistant head. He was the assistant head coach. The DC was Al Groh.
Okay, well, him and Parcells, they were like you got to have both of them. Both of them were together.
Which team?
Parcells retired.
Which team you talking about, Keelan?
The one that Bill Parcells went to the Super Bowl against Brett Favre and the Packers.
Okay.
So Belichick was the assistant head coach on that team. Al Groh was the DC.
Okay.
But
okay.
What I'm saying
Belichick was on staff though. I knew you.
And Bledsoe was the quarterback.
Experience matters.
Terry Glenn
as the head coach.
Troy Brown as the receiver.
So the to your question, Red, in terms of players that were still on that team, it's not a lot of them. So you got Teddy Bruschi, he was on that team.
Was Vrabel there yet?
I don't.
I know Willie McGinnis was there.
Yeah, Willie McGinnis was there.
Willie McGinnis is on the team. And Teddy Bruschi.
Okay. Now, if Willie McGinnis was there, was Wolford there?
No, Vince Wilfork.
No, not Wolford.
Wolford came after.
Ty Law was on the team, wasn't he?
I don't think Ty Law was on the team.
Yeah, Ty Law was on the team. But all the other, like the Richard Seymour's not on this team. No, Vince Wilfork.
Wilfork not there yet.
Ty Law's on the team. Lawyer Malloy.
Ted Johnson on the team.
Who?
Ted Johnson. White boy linebacker. I think he was a linebacker.
Yeah. 52, Ted Johnson. Yeah.
But somebody else, I'm trying to think.
Terry Glenn is on the team.
Right. Ohio
to
State.
Me, experience as a head coach matters.
Man, they had a squad. Had it not been for that just big time Packer team, man, Patriots probably would have won it. because they went from no, that's not the team that started 3-6 and won 10 games, but they won 11 games.
But that defense isn't the same. Like, so for example, it says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 6 Pro Bowlers on that squad. Only one of them on defense. That's Willie McGinnis.
So basically,
they had
you saying Bill Belichick made players.
So in terms of the players on the rest of the players that made the Pro Bowl, you got a tackle named Bruce Armstrong, Drew Bledsoe, tight end Ben Coates, running back Curtis Martin, and a kick return Dave Meggett. So that defense wasn't that defense yet.
Right.
Like,
okay, Curtis Martin. Curtis Martin was the running back, and Dave Meggett. Okay, yeah, I remember Dave Meggett. He followed Parcells around everywhere. You remember?
Now look up when Bill Belichick. Look up when Bill Belichick took over and became the man
in New England.
In New England,
99.
I forgot Pete. Right? It was 2000. Pete Carroll was there after your boy, and then
Belichick.
And then Bill Belichick. Pete Carroll came after your boy.
See, right. I don't think Raheem ever.
I think Carroll made the playoffs too one time with the Patriots.
I don't think
the very next year.
I don't think Raheem ever put together a whole team. In my opinion.
Look, Ron, I think we've established right now Raheem a moron, and we trying to do everything we can to get rid of.
Yeah,
I put it like this. I think Raheem, he definitely knows his X's and O's on the defensive side of the ball.
Do he?
I think he do. I think he just I don't think he should have taken so long to kind of insert himself on the defense. He waited till the bye week, which is one of the things Mike Bill and Rob Dribble addressed, was like,
but wait a minute, Keely, didn't he say that he was in all of he was involved on both sides of the ball when they were asking?
He got an attitude.
He was somewhat evasive even with that though. Like,
being a head coach, I'm all over the ball. I'm doing this.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. When he was trying to, when the question was, when did you start taking more control on the defense? And that was his evasive answer.
Yeah, that was his answer. Hey, James, welcome in. And I definitely wanted to ask you, because I saw you in the comments on Tidy's show when he was going over the interview and everything. And it was something that you said at that time about, what was it? Can you remember what it was that you said? It was something that you said to Tidy about Penix or the offensive coordinator or something.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah.
I'm on my laptop right now, so that's why I ain't on my phone. I'm on my laptop. That's why I asked. And good evening, gentlemen. How y'all doing today?
You're trying to flex your new laptop.
I'm not trying to. It's not new at all. It's not new. I just don't.
I'm flexing mine. Yeah. Check this out.
boy, you something serious.
Mm-hmm.
What was it you was talking about, John?
It
was me and him going back and forth on Penix.
Yeah, it was Penix, and I think wait a minute, let me see if I can pull that up, because see, you can hardly get comments after the show is over with, to see, what it was that was being said. Hold on.
Was it pertaining to that throw?
It may, yeah. You know what it was?
One thing that I said is just that when it came down to it, and as y'all all know, y'all know football very well, because Keely, Red, John, Ron, y'all have very interesting perspectives on things. I enjoy it. But what I was basically, you were. But basically, what I was saying was, every game, points is going to be left out on the field. That's just a given. Even with your veteran quarterbacks from your rookie quarterbacks, ain't nothing going to be perfect. I said when it came to the critical moments, Raheem didn't do what he was supposed to do. When it came down to that timeout, I said, what you can do in that situation if my quarterback missed a throw, it's typically, this is what almost every team does. Call a timeout, draw up a play that makes Michael Penix more comfortable, and then that hand execute it. And that's what I basically was saying with Tyler, because like I was telling Tyler, I said, it's going to be games like that for Michael Penix. It's going to be other games like that for Michael Penix that he just going to miss the receivers. He ain't going to be perfect.
Yeah.
But overall, with that being said, it's on your head coach to get your quarterback in that huddle and calm him down, draw up a good play with the OC, and execute it.
But okay, now James, on that point, what we were talking about was something. What we were talking about just a few minutes ago, was the fact that, and I'm going to go back to a comment because I believe, not King Richie, but what's my man's name? Todrick Davis. Todrick Davis said here, I don't agree with that logic. He was talking to me. You didn't want to subject an NFL quarterback to a zero blitz. That's he said, fireable offense. And I kind of go along with that because, okay, with 33 seconds left after Mooney caught that pass on the right side and didn't get out of bounds, you had 2 timeouts left. Okay. Now, he said on Sunday or Monday that he thought that the offense could get up to the line and they would be able to run a play. And I said, what the hell? And me and Keita was just saying, you asking 300-pound offensive linemen to huff and puff and run and get set and get down and everything, and then spike the ball or run the play. And what he said in the interview, he said he didn't want Washington to be able to substitute players because he had them in the defense that he wanted them to be in. And I said, if that, bruh, no. You can't, look here, you're not going to pull no Freon down my back and tell me it's raining. no, bruh. That's pitiful. Yeah, now, and Mike Bell, to his credit this particular time, it was a situation where he was saying, all right, well, I tell you what, if y'all can hold your stomachs, let's listen.
Real quick, James, let me ask you a question that I asked everyone else when before you came on. So you mentioned he missed throws, right? Did you watch him at Washington a lot? Did you keep up with him when he was a Husky?
Yeah.
All right. So this was my observation. A lot of and I went back and I looked up the stats, right? It seemed like a lot of the plays when he was with the Huskies, it was home run ball, right? So like on Doomsday, I looked it up. He averaged 18 yards a catch. Pope averaged 17 yards a catch. McMillan averaged 13 yards a catch, right?
Right.
So it was it's almost as if everybody with 9 routes. We gone. So one of the things in his scouting report, which Coach brought up Wednesday, was the intermediary throws, touch. So when you brought up the point of he missed throws, calm him down, do you believe that this is something that is the rookie learning curve, as he gained more experience, this will be out the way? Or do you think that this is something that's consistent? Because this is something that when he was in college, we noticed it, and it was on his scouting report coming into the league.
I remember that. Yeah, because we discussed that. I think it was on this show.
Yeah, Coach brought it up Wednesday.
Yeah, and I remember discussing that when we was talking about it early in the year when it came to the quarterback play. I say around about the draft when he got drafted to the Atlanta. I remember there was some discussion with that as well. I think it's more of as he grows more with the team. And let me explain, because it's obviously that during the whole time frame that he didn't work with the ones that much.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't work with the ones that much. It was really Kirko 2 Chainz that really worked with the ones. And when that one touchdown, 9 interception span took place, it really forced their hand. So it was like they made the announcement on the Tuesday. I think as he grow with the offense, he'll get better with it. Now, do I trust the coaching at this point? I'm starting to get like John when it comes to the quarterback coaching and assistant. I think it may be some outside people that it may be a QB camp he may need to go to get to obtain that knowledge, unless Raheem the Dream makes the changes at the QB coaching position. But I think it's just a learning curve for him because he can make all the necessary throws. If you look back at the USC game, some of them throws, the deep ball throws that he made in that USC game against Caleb Williams were monsters. If you go back to the playoff first game, he made some good throws in that game. So I just think it needs to come with time, and then I think they may need to get a speedster in the offseason to take care of it, some of the woes too, because, you know, Mooney is a speedster, but he's not that speed. He's not really a speedster. They need like a McCole Harmon that may touch free agency to help.
Because he isn't Hodge the fastest man on the team?
Who?
Hodge. Cordell Hodge.
They say he has some speed, but I ain't never really looked at his 40 time.
They told me he was the fastest man on the team. Oh, King Rich in here. Welcome, sir.
And also, let me explain something about that timeout as well, as a lot of people may not know. He did this same instance in the Giants game in the first half towards the end last week, and it didn't work then. So what the hell makes you think you can run it this weekend is going to work now?
And the explanation that you gave, that's the thing got me. The explanation that you gave for doing it. I caught them in the defense that we wanted them to be in, so we didn't want them to make a substitution. So we didn't call a timeout because I thought my offense could get up to the line of scrimmage. Man, ooh,
and I get what he said on that, but at hand, you worked it once, it didn't work at all for one. But why try it again? And you know you failed at it miserably last week. Because they got last week about that.
See, my problem with that explanation is, okay, you got two timeouts. It wasn't an all or nothing situation. All right. Once you completed that pass and got Mooney down there, that wasn't an all for nothing situation on your next set of downs. That wasn't all for nothing, all or nothing. So you call a timeout, and y'all call the play that you need to call to go against whatever defense they put out there on the field. Okay, you don't be sitting up here talking about I want to catch the deep. You know, you sitting up here letting the time run out, 16 freaking seconds, and I'm talking about in the first half. Oh no! I'll talk about this right here. What was it? It was 33 seconds. All right, you sit up here and let 15 doggone seconds run off, where you trying to get your players up to the line of scrimmage to run the next play. And you could have called a timeout and still had 33 seconds and at least 2 more downs if you needed it to get your person closer with the field goal or score a touchdown. All right. You could have run. You could have run Bijan or Algier straight up Peachtree Street, or something. But you sitting up here talking about you didn't want your quarterback to be facing a zero blitz and all this type of stuff here. Man, look, that's a professional quarterback. But he's been thrust into the starting role. Hey, and time for you to win the game, son. All right. So offensive coordinator, you call a play that has a reasonable chance of success. You don't be sitting up here trying to catch no damn defense in this and no defense in that, and the clock just ticking away because you sitting up here, you coaching scared. Go ahead, Ron. I'm sorry.
But it go back to what I just said. Experience.
Yeah, I mean, it's stupid.
No, don't get me wrong. Raheem, outside football, he might be a good guy. But like Keely said a while back, some people not meant to be head coaches, and they're just meant to be OCs, or vice versa.
And Tidy, you are absolutely correct.
Some people
You're absolutely correct. I'm not giving. I'm not. Excuse me, Ron. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Ron. I'm just talking all over you. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Some
Ron.
people just meant to be defensive coordinator and not head coaches. So it go back to experience. Is you smart enough to get the job done? And we see Raheem not.
I think he could have. How we talked about Quinn, how Quinn was smart enough to insulate himself, whereas he went and got a Shanahan as his OC, a proven entity. He went and got, like, you insulate yourself with people who are proven commodities. And I think Raheem would have been so much better off if he could have surrounded himself. Like, I've seen coaches do this. Like, they'll be first-time head coaches, and then they got like former head coaches that have been in the league for 12, 15 years as their coordinators and assistants. They surround themselves with so much experience. So like you'll have a rookie head coach, but then it'll be like Rex Ryan as your DC. You know what I'm saying? Right. I just think that would have been so much smarter. And I just feel like that was a missed opportunity for Raw. This season probably would have been a lot different if he would have took the same approach as Quinn. Let me go get an OC he has a former NFL head coach and a former a guy who's a former head coach in the Big 12. Right. Somebody he's seen coordinate offenses on both levels. Like, he went and got proven commodities. Like,
I don't think Zach Robinson bad though. What I really think it is okay, because Greg Olson explained it. What a lot of people don't know about that pistol formation is that's the hardest formation for a quarterback to run. So you went and got a Kirk Cousins to run a pistol, something he not even mobile enough to run. Because Greg Olson said in order to run the pistol, you got to have a thrower and somebody who's mobile. He don't have to be a runner, but he have to move the pocket in the pistol to make the pistol work. And you trying to stick Kirk Cousins in like a college style almost formation that he can't move around in. So
you just made the case why he's a bad that is a fundamental decision. Like that's you just made the case why he was a bad choice.
That's what I'm saying. So it really go back to coaching as far as with Raheem, you should have just went on and put Penix in earlier because
from the beginning.
I keep telling people, Zach Robinson wasn't brought here for Kirk Cousins. He was brought here for Penix.
So, James, let me ask you this.
Okay, go ahead.
Let me ask you this. If they seen how Kirk Cousins were doing in preseason, during the week, and you know Kirk Cousins cannot get it done during the week and all season, why will you wait till so late during the season to change it?
Because it's business. See, one thing you got to understand is still business, bro. See, we looking at it sometimes from a fan perspective, but by me having my own business, I understand what's going on. When you spend $880 million, bro, even though that's the low end for quarterbacks, you still have to at least exhaust everything out of that tank before you willing. I'm gonna be honest, they already said we weren't gonna see Michael Penix to 2027 if Kirk had
Right.
worked out the way they
Right.
wanted it. That the problems that y'all saying Penix have, they already knew that. That's why they wanted to sit him like a Jordan Love.
Right situation.
But
the
Kurt body just gave out ways. So even Colin Cowherd was like, Kirk will last to Thanksgiving of next year. His body just end up falling. Think about it with Matt Ryan. The year Matt Ryan had Pitts went to the Pro Bowl. Pitts had a Pro Bowl nomination, 1,000-yard tight end. The very next season, Matt Ryan, when we traded him to Indianapolis, his body just one day just fell off a cliff out the blue.
Nah, his body was failing him when he was in Atlanta.
No,
Like,
it was
body-
failing him, but what I'm saying is the way it failed him. It ain't like it failed him in the first game. It's like one game he played, his body fell off a cliff. They had to bench him. Now he was already regressing. I'm not saying he wasn't regressing, but what I'm saying is nobody expected Kirk. See what I really believe. I'm gonna tell you what I really believe it was. If you remember during that Denver game when Kirk Cousins' shoulder got hurt, they put him on that IR report. I know because I seen it myself. And then the next day when I went back and looked at it, they snatched him off real quick. Everybody seen that play where I forgot who that was on Denver defensive line that snatched his shoulder out of place on that throw. You still trying to put it's just like what I've been
I don't
trying to
think
explain.
his. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Now, I was just gonna say what I've been trying to explain to people. If you notice, ever since that Arthur Smith era, our organization hasn't been as transparent as they used to be. Remember, our organization used to tell us everything. Ever since Arthur Smith, they done started hiding stuff. Cuban hurt the whole season. You heard that. Kirk Cousins got injured in the Denver game. You just keep hiding stuff and sending people back out. I literally watched Cool limp to make a kid.
I seen that.
I don't think, but I think I don't think Kirk was ever healthy. I think when people talk about an Achilles injury, usually before people look normal, I think you see a full year
A
before
year and
people.
a half. Almost.
Yeah, like before you start seeing it. I remember the very first week one, people had concerns about Kirk week one against Pittsburgh. I just think he was just never healthy from the jump. I don't think it was his body wore down. I just think his body never recovered. Like Achilles injury, that's not. I get. And we're talking about a 36-year-old guy. We're
Right.
not talking about like a 22-year-old Adrian Peterson who's a mutant. We're talking about a 36-year-old guy. Bro, that's an injury that
I mean,
he
but-
probably
And then
by next year, I'm pretty sure he will probably resemble a lot closer to regular Kirk next
and you
season.
know what the difference was with Kirk and Aaron Rodgers? And I just found this out. Kirk Achilles was on the foot he used to plant to throw. Aaron Rodgers' Achilles was on the opposite foot. And if his is on the opposite foot and he looked horrible, imagine what if the Achilles is on your throwing foot that you plant.
But that's what I'm saying. If you know this man still hurt, why you gonna put the man out there? And
Well,
you know he's still hurt now.
It's business, but then it's also some. He still may have been the better option. So the other thing, the thing that frustrates me about the offense thing, the logic of going to get Kirk makes sense, right? Because the offense he ran when he was in DC, when Raheem was in DC,
Right.
when McVay was it? Because McVay took over. McVay took over after Shanahan and Zach.
The Rams head coach. Yeah.
And Zach was on the Rams under McVay.
Yeah.
The logic makes sense. However, if you went and got Kirk because you felt like, okay, he was under McVay, he was under Shanahan, and it would be a more seamless transition, because you got basically a OC that studied under McVay. Then for that reason, it doesn't make sense for him to be lining up in a pistol. Like it doesn't. If the logic is it's going to be a smooth transition because he's running the same offense that we ran when we was in DC. If that is the logic to go get Kirk, then it doesn't make sense to put him in a pistol.
Not if he hurt, and then you saying, well, we gonna run the
whole point of getting him is the whole point of saying Kirk is going to be a seamless transition because this is the same offense he ran when he was in DC, and then you line him up in a pistol.
But look how long it's been since he. That's the crazy part.
Oh, let me say this on that. Now, your coaching staff was together, hired, contract signed, everything before they went looking for a quarterback. Okay, they went after Kirk Cousins. All right, so the narrative that this offense that Zach Robinson is calling was designed for Penix instead of Kirk Cousins, I can't go along with because you already had this offense hired and you went and got Kirk Cousins to run.
That's my point. That's the point I'm making. That to me doesn't make any sense because that was the whole benefit of going to get Kirk. Like literally, you had tunnel vision on Kirk. You went and got tampering charges because everyone
you gave up a pick.
Because you made it be known at the combine that you only had eyes for Kirk and nobody else. Literally, I remember after the combine, all the rumors of Fields to Atlanta and all this stuff, all of it ended. Immediately after the combine.
Then on top of that, okay, to your point, King Richard, that you made about the Falcons hiding things. All right, when you went and got Kirk Cousins, you knew he was coming off an Achilles injury. As we have chronicled from the very beginning, Achilles injuries, the healing might take place within 8 months, but the mental part of it takes a longer time. Okay, Achilles injuries, man. Shoot, when you hear that thing pop like that, because see, I had a patella tendon pop, and I heard it when it popped, and everybody in the gym heard it when it popped. And when you hear that pop, that mental has to be gotten over with. Okay, but you knew this man had an Achilles injury, and you signed him anyway. You brought him here anyway. You said he passed. You said he passed the physical.
That's my point.
I don't really think he passed.
And to your point, King Rich, are they just lying?
John. I don't think he passed the physical to be. That's what I'm trying to explain to you. They have been lying to us ever since. One thing I can honestly say, before Arthur Smith, a lot of the stuff our organization used to tell us was what kept us in a loop. So these type of conversations we wouldn't even have to have because Arthur Blank was more forthcoming. But I've noticed ever since we hired Arthur Smith, ever since that Bijan situation with Arthur Smith, our organization has not been to. I think they knew he was hurt and were just hoping that he could overcome it, like they thought he could overcome the interceptions.
Man,
like I don't think I'm with bro. I don't think he was ever fully healthy because a true Achilles take you 2 years for real.
See, should have never signed him and going off
in the beginning. We should have never signed him in the beginning. But
that's my point right there.
But he was the better option out of everybody that was out there at the time.
Not with King Richard, not with that, not with that Achilles.
No,
I say no.
I will not put.
I'm just speaking media wise because if you remember, everybody, even when we didn't have him, everybody was like, even past the Achilles, media was basically saying that he was the best pick out of all the quarterbacks that was left.
Yeah,
I don't know about this. I don't know.
I wasn't down. I wasn't down on Russ.
Need something to talk about.
So the thing was when Denver benched Russ, I saw that 5-game winning streak, and before he got benched, he was still up there around like 30 touchdowns and single digit turnovers. That was all progress when he was doing 30, 40 touchdowns to like 6 interceptions. And Denver was the best. I wasn't
But
down
see,
on
Russ didn't want to come here.
that's
that's
a catch-22.
Right.
You don't want to come to a place when a place is already sold out on a quarterback. So if your agent is saying to you, no, Atlanta's all in on Kirk, then why would you want to go to Atlanta? So that's the thing about it. Because when those tampering reports came out, it was known by the combine. People were talking when Mike, what's the guy with NBC, Mike, whatever, when he came out, when Florio came out on that show and he was talking about how reckless the Falcons were at the combine, that's when all of the talks about Fields to Atlanta, anything, all came out. He came out on the NBC show and was like, "No, they're all in on Kirk, and they were reckless, and Kirk is still signed." And that initiated pretty much all that tampering investigation. People think it started with when Kirk came down to Atlanta.
That been happening.
That's what I'm saying. Wow. The allegations that Mike Florio was making was how reckless they were at the combine. And the thing is, at that point, I remember the questions about Field stopped. The questions about everyone stopped at that point. And if Atlanta made it known that they were all in on Kirk, then at that point, your agent is not for to sit here and try to get you to Atlanta. And that's when people say that it's twofold.
That's why I say that's what played into us getting Penix, because nobody thought, even though we went and seen them with that last interview, nobody still thought we were going after a quarterback, regardless of how much we said it. So does Penix still fall to us if we don't have Kirk or quarterback?
I think he do.
Yeah, I think he's still available.
I think he still fall right to us.
Nah, because a lot of teams trying to move up to get him.
Well, remember, they were not trying to give us nothing.
Nobody was moving up after those first 3 wins.
Right. So here's the thing. They were talking about this on the radio the other day, and they were going back over it because Mike Bell was talking about this, and they was talking about, and I said this right after the draft. No one was moving up for Penix because
except for Las Vegas. Las Vegas did want.
No. But
they weren't moving up.
They weren't moving up because New York wasn't trading out, and then Minnesota was already all in. All right, so they were talking. So Denver was already sold on Bo Nix. Matter of fact, Peyton had already let it be known that they were enamored with Bo Nix. So Denver wasn't moving; they were going for Nix. The Giants were already all in. The first rumor was that they were going to take J.J. McCarthy, that they was all in on J.J. McCarthy. And then the evaluation just wasn't as high as Malik Neighbors. It was supposed to be J.J. McCarthy or Neighbors. They weren't taking Penix.
I never thought the Giants were going to take a quarterback. I thought it was going to be Neighbors from the beginning.
And the report already came out about the Giants did want Penix. That's why that game was so important to them.
Man,
every report, every single leak that came out said they was J.J. McCarthy or Neighbors.
Right.
And
that's how I knew it was Neighbors.
And then as far as Minnesota let it be known that they was all in on J.J. McCarthy. I don't know why everyone evaluated J.J. McCarthy so high, but every team that was ahead were going after had J.J. McCarthy in their mouth. Now, I granted people could pump fake, they lie and all that kind of stuff, but it seemed like it went true to form. Vegas, I heard, wanted Penix, but they didn't have enough to move up because Giants weren't moving out. Arizona wasn't moving out. They were all in on Marvin Harrison. And of course, the first 3 weren't moving because those first 3 quarterbacks were going to fall in order. So
Penix was that he was going to get his man.
Penix was going to fall, but I don't think they were even in on Penix until the last minute. They didn't. They went in. They took that visit so late in the process. They didn't even visit him at his pro day. They didn't invite him.
Arthur Blank wanted defense. That was already known. Arthur Blank said he wanted defense, and they coerced him to get the quarterback.
Yeah, because that was one of the biggest surprises with the fact that, like, I remember when the tweet went out, when I forgot who the ESPN analyst, they was like, last minute. Like, keep in mind, this was after the combine and this was after the pro day in which the Falcons went out. This was like mid to late April when they went out to Seattle. This was after everything.
Yeah, no,
But
that's what I was saying,
then,
because
I still thought then that they had their eyes on that guy, and that's when.
And see, that's what I was saying. Rich McKay and Terry wanted Penix. Arthur Blank wanted defense. He wanted a pass rusher.
I thought it was because
hold on, we being raided again. I guess 2 times in a week. The Dixon way is raiding us again. Man, doggone it. Leave us alone.
I thought that move with Penix was because of fear of how they were gonna come down on the tampering charges. I thought they were fearful that they were gonna lose a first the next year, so they went ahead and took their quarterback this year. That's what I thought it was.
And I think they didn't trust somebody. Didn't fully trust Kurt. I'm gonna be honest. Somebody didn't fully.
Was the guy.
Somebody didn't fully trust.
If they signed Kurt.
Now, I think someone in the organization didn't fully trust Kurt too. I think that was part of it.
Why would you trust a guy coming off an Achilles? And that's why they should have just trusted that they was gonna get their man in the draft instead of wasting $100 million off of a damn injured quarterback coming off a torn Achilles. You should have just trusted. I'm gonna get my guy in the draft.
I don't think either way it go. I do not think that was the initial plan at the jump to get 2 quarterbacks. The way that it unfolded, I think the Penix move came after. I don't think they had vision of getting Penix and Kirk at the start of at the combine. Because to me, I just feel like you would have interviewed him, you would have invited him or something if you thought that was the move from the jump to get Kirk and Penix. I think it just shifted along the way.
Yeah,
so
Kirk
they sold it.
Did
they sell it in the draft room? You think, Keely, or what?
No, it could be how he said, whereas they convinced. It could be a situation where they had to convince someone.
But was it in the draft room? Because
I don't.
I'm not John. I heard it was before the draft. What I heard was this. What I heard. This how I heard it came down. When Belichick, Arthur Blank wanted Belichick. Rich McKay was scared of his job being on the line. Him and Terry, but also Arthur Blank's son didn't want Belichick. So when it got before the draft, Arthur Blank let them know he wanted defense. That's why Terry said we tried to trade back into the first round to get defense after we got the quarterback, because Arthur Blank was pissed we didn't get a pass rusher, because Arthur Blank won't, because Arthur Blank know how long it's been since we had a real pass rusher. They convinced him to get the court. From my understanding, Rich McKay was the one that convinced him to get the quarterback. This is before the draft.
I believe Rich
convinced him. That's why they made
that
black
trip to convince him of nothing.
Nah, what I'm saying is that's the whole reason they made that last trip to Washington. It wasn't Arthur Blank didn't want to make that trip. They had to take Arthur Blank to watch that boy throw.
So you saying McKay like
McKay took him up. That's why if you remember, the whole organization went to see him throwing them 30-mile-an-hour winds.
So
it wasn't just Raheem that went up there. The whole organization went. Rich McKay had to convince Blank to get it, and that's how he did it with that last interview when they went up to Washington to watch that boy.
So
that's what convinced
them. Let me ask you this, team. Was Terry or Raheem ever on Penix? Is that their guy or is this McKay's guy?
I think this more so McKay guy. Because think about it. Why wouldn't it be McKay guy to save Terry? Because remember, Arthur Blank was already mad. He wanted Belichick. Arthur Blank pulled out the yacht for Belichick. He didn't pull out the yacht for Raheem. He didn't pull out the yacht for Harbaugh. He didn't pull out the yacht for Flores. He pulled out the yacht for Belichick to have a private discussion one-on-one. He didn't do that for nobody else they interviewed.
I think Penix was a raw pick because Raw was just enamored. And especially so he especially talked about him after that workout. I think I don't know what the impetus was for them to all of a sudden take their attention to a quarterback in the draft. I just don't think that was their intent in the beginning. I do believe that they were thinking defense, and
But
I
if
don't
you
know.
remember, Terry wanted Justin
You
Fields.
think Rich?
I don't know. Terry
was
wanted.
involved?
I
King,
thought
you think
that.
Rich was involved on picking people?
I think in
Go ahead,
terms of
King.
his comment, I don't think. I don't think Terry wanted Justin Fields, and the reason I say that is because it was a video that Tidy played once on his channel, and it was the reaction on draft day when San Francisco took Trey Lance, right?
Mhm.
And you saw Arthur Smith look down, like he just stoic, right? And you saw Terry celebrating, like, yes, we got our guy now, right? Now, the reports prior to that, now I can pull that article. The reports right before the draft that they wanted Trey Lance. They definitely
They
wanted
did.
a quarterback.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They
cause remember
did.
he was looking at Trey Lance and Malik Willis.
So what happened was on the video that Toddy showed, you can see them in the when the announcement of San Francisco taking Trey Lance, Arthur Smith is there like this, like sulking. And then Terry is pumping his fist like, yes, we got our guy, the tight end. Go ahead and put that card in to go get Pitts. I don't think
so. Pitts really is Terry guy.
Yeah, because you remember Julio.
That's what
they
the
knew
video
Julio
looked like.
leaving. They
Well,
if you pumping your fist that we missed on Trey Lance, then yeah, you got to be excited for the next guy coming. And that next guy was trash.
And see, okay. Now
I
that you
think
said
it
that,
makes
and
sense.
I'm gonna have to look at that.
It makes sense that an OC will want his quarterback because I agree with
that.
Because Arthur Smith is an offensive coordinator. He
Lance. He never was enamored with Fields, and that's what everybody was upset about. It was Lance.
Tidy was saying, well, who was that? Wolverton, the Tidy interview, said that Arthur Smith couldn't stand Justin Fields. Okay, he couldn't stand it. And
I think Arthur Smith wanted Trey. I think Arthur Smith wanted.
He wanted Trey Lance because and did any. I'm trying to remember. Did anybody predict that San Francisco was even going to pick him? Because I thought San Francisco was set at quarterback, or were they?
I don't know.
But remember,
he was trying to. Shanahan was trying to move off of Garoppolo. So that the whole point of Trey Lance was to come off of Garoppolo, and the same reason that Shanahan wanted Trey Lance is probably the exact same reason Arthur Smith wanted him running his offense.
Why?
The intangibles, not the intangible, but the strong arm and the athleticism. He didn't have. I think they looked at him like he had a cannon arm and he was athletic. I'm pretty sure that.
I know where you're going.
And he's sitting in that pocket. He don't run first.
So arrogant that they felt they could fix what was all the other stuff that was wrong.
So they felt like they could coach him up basically because the only thing he lacked was a lot of experience, but he had the cannon arm and he had athleticism. And I think both Shanahan and Arthur Smith viewed it the exact same way. Like, all right, I can do something with him, right? And as an offensive coordinator, keep in mind they lost their shot at Watson, right? So this was his chance. Keep in mind from the thought process of an OC, he wants his quarterback. Like he knows how important the quarterback is.
That's why we didn't understand the Pitts pick because you coming in. Most OCs get the first job.
So
good job.
So
I think Julio messed it up for that Pitts pick. See, at that time, Julio. Remember when Arthur Smith first got here? Julio was still here. We still had Julio and Ridley. Julio situation.
You think if Julio played ball, if Julio got on board, that they would have took somebody.
Julio messed up every. Cause remember, nobody knew Julio was gonna leave until the Shannon Sharp interview. That controlled a lot of stuff because now you losing one of your premier receivers.
I think the organization knew he wanted. No, I think the organization knew Julio was unhappy. It just wasn't public. And I think they were trying to. I think they probably felt like they could work it out, but I think the front office was well aware that Julio was unhappy.
And Mike Smith,
I agree too.
Smith don't even like receivers anyway. So I don't know why he would be excited for Julio. He a running guy.
No, well, Arthur Smith wanted to throw, but he didn't have the receivers. See, Arthur Smith is a run-first guy, but he still wanted receivers.
Yeah, he still wanted. That's the case with one guy, Drake London.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I think that Julio's situation. I think that Julio's situation messed up a lot
you got
more.
A cold down there.
Huh?
I thought James sounded like he got a cold.
Nah, I ain't got no cold. Don't put that on me.
You jumped. You got real excited when I said that. Like, man, what you talking about? Rick?
Nah, I didn't really think that Julio. They knew he. I'm with bro on that. They knew he wanted to leave, but some things they probably figured it could be salvaged.
Man, you could. At hindsight, looking at what Pittston did, man, it's to the point now, John. I would have said, hey, I would have taken anybody else in that first round besides that trash ass.
What makes it?
Yeah, because 4th overall is a foundational pick, man.
Right.
That's a foundation pick. And you don't build no damn team around no tight end.
No, what makes it bad is who came after him. Like there were so many, like you talking about the talent that came after him. That's what make it look so ugly. Like I think Patrick Surtain, Parsons, Jamar Chase was right after him. Rashawn Slater.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. It was another tackle.
But them first three you named, all
Slater has already made an All-Pro selection. He made it as a rookie All-Pro, I believe.
So that's four All-Pros you just named.
Hold on, he was second team All-Pro and he has 2 Pro Bowls already.
Right. Okay, so four All-Pro Pro Bowler type guys you don't name, and we taking Pitt sorry ass.
So keep in mind you had Jamar Chase in that draft, Jalen Waddle, Panay Sewell, Patrick Surtain, Michael Parsons, and Rashawn Slater.
Team you name it.
Like that's what stings about the Pitt's pick is what was still on the board. Like
you know what, Panay Sewell. Had we had Panay Sewell, we could just put him on that on Petey's blind side right now.
And see me, if 4th overall picks.
They got
1 through 4 overall. Those are foundational picks. Okay. Quarterback, running back, long time ago anyway.
Yeah.
You build your foundation from that particular pick. Now, if your guy isn't there, I would have traded the pick and got as many 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, or whatever round picks that I could have gotten for that pick. If your quarterback wasn't there, because you paid Kyle Pitts the same amount of money. You within $2 million of what Trey Lance got. Within $2 million of what Trey Lance got. And Kyle Pitts, man, I mean, if you needed a tight end, and did we need a tight end at the time? We still had what was his name? We had
Hooper.
2 good tight ends, if I'm not mistaken.
No,
did we still have Levi Tolioyo?
No, it was Hayden Hurst. Remember, Hayden Hurst got mad when we picked Pitts.
But see, that's the thing. When it comes to tight ends, dog, your tight end don't have to be unless you just got everything on your team.
Hey, but you know another reason why though too, if you really remember, because I remember I was on this other channel and they was talking about Olamide Zaccheaus. But if you remember,
another guy
hold on. If you remember, we didn't have nobody but Zaccheaus and Russell Gage after everybody left.
And then Patterson ended up being the other option.
You see what I'm saying?
Patterson.
So think about it.
Is that the season that Ridley was suspended?
Yep. So you had Hayden Hurst, Olamide Zaccheaus, Cordell Hodge, and you had Russell Gage. Come on.
No, Corey Patterson.
And we had
CP.
We had CP. But I mean,
well, Patterson pretty
look
good.
At it,
he was the go-to guy.
That's what I'm saying. Patterson was pretty much the go-to guy that year. Him
But
and
still, that's what I'm
him and
saying.
Pitts.
How many games you really were gonna win with Patterson being the GOAT?
How many games we gonna win with Pitts?
No, I'm just saying, looking at it from hindsight, I'm not saying. See, now we know what Pitts is. Then we didn't.
No, that's the thing that sucks is that every single issue that people are talking about as far as Pitts was in his pre-draft report. Like, I remember.
Oh, I didn't read his pre-draft.
So I keep talking about this all the time. I remember ESPN when Keyshawn and Jay Will and all them had their own show, right? Keyshawn and Bart Scott was discussing Pitts pre-draft. This is pre-draft. And they was talking about like unicorn, this and that. And Keyshawn basically was like, I would not touch him. He was like, I would not touch him. And
see, Keyshawn know his football.
And Bart Scott said the same thing. He was like, the biggest issue they saw with his size and lack of strength. They was like, I don't think he could be an NFL tight end. And so Keyshawn's argument was he is a tweener. Basically, he was like, he's too small to be an NFL tight end, and he's not quick enough as terms of foot speed to be a number one receiver in the league. And that so far has been proven true.
He should have played basketball, Millie.
If he'd have played basketball, he'd have actually been a lot tougher. That's why Drake's so tough, because Drake played basketball.
And that's the thing that's crazy is that they use Drake. They use Drake like a tight end in this offense. That's the thing that's crazy.
Right. Drake is more of a tight end than Pitts is.
Bro, the way they use him the way they use him to block is crazy. Like,
bro, Red, I know what you looking at.
Yeah, I know you know.
I know what you mean, though, bro. Because if Kyle Pitts had better footwork, you could put him more outside at receiver.
But that's where. So his first year,
man, you can't put him nowhere but in the city dump now, King.
No. So his first year, I remember PFL posted what percentage of his snaps. Only but 20% of his snaps was lined up in the tight end position. He was either in the slot or he was wide out the whole season in 2021. So
yeah, you know,
that's the only way
Matt know how to use him. I give Matt credit; he actually knew how to use him.
No, it wasn't that he knew how to use them. It was that he was the only option because you had Russell Gage, Patterson, and Pitts. Like when you look at the number of targets he had, I mean that was Matt's only option. There's no more. There's no Ridley and there's no Julio. Like he just.
And Keelan, he still didn't have a Brock Bowers type season. He barely got over 1,000.
But there were games where I remember what's the former GM that be on ESPN because they had him on pre-draft talking about Pitts, and he said he asked Wade Phillips how he would defend Pitts because he was this dynamic unicorn, and he was like, I would slap my DB on him, just cover him like he's a receiver. And I remember watching the home game in 2021 against Carolina, and y'all can go back and look at this. I remember watching Pitts versus the Carolina Panthers at home in 2021, and Stephon Gilmore was the Panthers' number one DB that year. They just slapped Gilmore on Pitts, and Pitts was just erased the whole game. And I saw teams do that. Like even though he had 1,000 yards, there were a couple of games where teams just slapped their best DB on them because there's no Julio or Ridley on the other side, and he was just erased. He's just gone.
What I'm saying. He didn't have no Brock Bowers type dominant rookie season. He just had.
I never even the couple of games I watched of him in college. The reason he was so successful because he had Van Jefferson on the other side of him.
So I don't even remember him in Florida, King.
Van Jefferson was there with Kyle Pitts. That's why Arthur Smith thought it would be the perfect comparison because that's what made Kyle Trask look so good. Because I wanted us to get Kyle Trask in like the third round. Because a couple of games I did watch, then I didn't really pay attention to the reason why Kyle was getting off as a Florida Gator is because Jefferson had so much speed that he was taking the top off defenses. So that left Kyle open. We don't really, the fastest person on our team is Rondale Moore. Truthfully. Cordell Hodge is the second fastest, and Mooney is the third. And then I think it's Ray Ray, or either Ray Ray and Mooney switch out.
Now
Well,
we can't count guys. Can't count guys that's not playing right now.
No, but I'm just saying, Rondell Moore was the fastest person on the team. I think he ran like a 4.2, 4.3. That's who was supposed to be the fast speed receiver. But when you go back and watch Kyle in college, Jefferson was the over the top, which always left Kyle open. So that's what made him look better than he was.
And this is what happened this year. I said this, and somebody, I'm not going to name his name, and Buddy got mad at me. I said the same thing happened this year. So in the beginning of the season, the looks that that Pitts was getting, I said, well, you have two receivers that teams are more concerned with. And the times I've seen Pitts get off is all the coverage that Drake and Mooney had lifted. Early in the season, it happened like 2 or 3 times where, bro, like Drake and Mooney took all the coverage, and then Pitts is just in the middle of the field by himself.
That's how Pitts got behind the defense in that Tampa Bay game for them 2 touchdowns. With the one that he really fumbled, and the other one, well, because you had Mooney and Drake, they had all the attention. So then when remember that one, what game that was when everybody was hurt that we played? I think it was the Denver game. Was it the Denver game where people were playing hurt? Whatever game that was, that's exactly what they did, was put a DB on Kyle, and Kyle could not get separation. That's why it always, when people be like, oh, Kyle can't get separation, I know, because they put a DB on him. They playing him like he's a wide receiver versus a tight end.
Now at 6'6", 250, with a DB on him, I'm just wondering, and y'all just tell me, why he couldn't post that doggone man up just like
because he don't know how to, John. He don't know how to.
But he
does have worse key. He don't know how to.
But no, I would say this though. He does have a catch rate. The times that you have seen him productive, like he's not getting this. So all right. So for example, his first year, 2021, when Matt were throwing it to him, he wasn't getting much separation from DBs. It's just that Matt would throw it to a spot where he's 6'6". He got a catch radius. People think it's disrespectful, but he reminds me of Sanu. Sanu had this large catch radius, right? So he wasn't like this guy who got great separation, but he had long arms. If you have a quarterback that can place the ball, you can make him productive. He's just not this elite receiver. Like he's not Mooney. Like he's not gonna make somebody Ridley could, do all this trying to make somebody miss in a phone booth and all that kind of stuff. Like that's not him. He's not that kind of elusive guy, but he is 6'6" with some type of wingspan.
But that's why I was saying, when have you ever seen Kyle post somebody out?
Oh no, and see that's the problem. I have not seen that. All right, now, I go to the coach. see, that's where I go to the coach. All right,
go down the field, raise their hand up like, "Hey, I'm open, dog. Hit me, man." I ain't seen Kyle Pitts do that once.
But to his credit, I don't think he has to do the Tony Gonzalez, go find a spot and just put the guy on his back. I don't even know if he's strong enough to do that. But he's not. He's not. But what I'm saying is, if he's on a slant, any type of route, if you got a quarterback who can place the ball, I mean, he does have reach. I think you can utilize him in that way. He's not gonna post nobody up, but I mean, you
can utilize him in a way if he was just a dog. If he was just a physical dog, that
he's not a dog. He's not a dog. You can't ask a cat to be a dog.
That size, he could be.
That's the real problem. That's the real problem. Cause how you 6'6" and 240, 250, and you just ain't. You know what though? I'm gonna be honest. When we played that New York game and the team wasn't sitting next to Kyle, I wonder why they weren't sitting next to him. Now I understand why. That's when I realized he didn't have no dog. when the rest of the whole team were fighting and they took that picture of him just standing up to the side, I said, boy, that boy got no dog, no.
I'm gonna tell you when I with permanently, can't nobody tell me anything about Pitts no more. That I saw there was a pass where he was supposed to come over the middle. Kirk threw it right, and when they showed the replay, right, the reason it was an incomplete pass is because Pitts pulled his hands back. He didn't want to run into the guy. He didn't want to get hit. So instead of going to make a play, Pitts just pulled his hands back because he didn't want to get hit. I was done at that point.
And that's why Kurt stopped trusting him. Remember when we wondered why he wide open? I seen a couple times where when Kurt finally trusts you, you either don't want to get hit, overrun the route, don't catch. You see what I'm saying? There's so many variables.
Now, John, did I tell you he didn't trust that man? Weeks ago.
Yeah, it's obvious he doesn't trust him. Like if I wouldn't either. Like if I see you quitting on routes or giving up on a play, like that's how interceptions happen because I done threw it and you already gave up on the route. Like
it's like,
but
you remember Keelan? It's like he wasn't even looking for. He looked for if Ray was. Oh my man, Ray could have 2 or 3 people on him. He'll throw it to Ray the cloud. But
here's the thing: I've seen Drake save interceptions from him. So that's why I'm gonna throw it to Drake because he turns bad passes into completion. So
you gotta trust your receiver.
If I got a guy over here that if I threw an interception, but you caught it and turned it into a completion, I'm gonna throw it to you before I throw it to the other guy that's giving up on routes. But the thing I get, football is a tough sport. However, the thing that stood out again about him pulling his hands back because he didn't want to get hit, that's where tight ends play in the middle of the field. So to have this, I don't want to get hit mentality when that's where tight ends work in the middle of the field. That's where tight ends play. Yeah, I was done at that point with him. That's why
tight ends save the game in the middle of the field.
What did he say? What did he say y'all the other day? I just work here.
We know.
Well, you just got a job, You ain't doing no work.
Yeah, you didn't get paid.
You ain't doing no work.
But see, I'm gonna tell you the only problem I do have though with the coaching. That one thing we say what we want about him. That last game when he actually was putting in effort, going across the middle of the field and everything, catching pay. You only missed one pass. You take him out the game, and now you got Charlie Warner running routes. Like for what? That man ain't. You got this man running the seam route off the line when he a blocking tight end. So
versus having Pitts out there.
Yeah, Pitts was on the sideline because even the commentator was like, "You're finally getting the production. This is exactly what the commentator said. If you go back and watch the game, they said you finally getting production out of Pitts. Why would you take him out?
Because he's a liability blocking wise, and that had been the case. That wasn't the first game. Like you can go back probably as far back, maybe the Vikings game. Warner has been getting more reps than Pitts for a minute, like in terms of snaps. I feel like this: if you're a tight end, if you don't block, then you can't be on. Like I don't understand this logic of a tight end that can't block. Like you're an extension of the offensive line. Like if you're a tight end and you're an unwilling blocker. If you're an unwilling blocker, then as a coach, I wouldn't want you on my field. Like you have to want to block.
Now that you said that, the scouting report on him was the fact that he was weak in blocking, if I remember correctly.
Yeah,
that was one of the things that he couldn't do. All right. Why would you even draft somebody like that if you weren't going to use him as a receiver exclusively? Because you remember Cam Jordan down there in New Orleans when we drafted him, he was laughing.
Yep.
You remember that? He was laughing. Who he gonna block? And Okay, and putting him out there, putting him over there on that right side with McGarry, that was just like the blind leading the blind.
But if you remember, Arthur
improving,
Smith,
but he's
when Pitts first got here, Arthur Smith wasn't even really asking him to block. Arthur Smith was sort of using him like he was really supposed to be used as a tweener, but he was just lazy at route running. That's why, like I keep telling people, if we'd have had Arthur Smith one more year, we wouldn't have Michael Penix. We have Brock Bowers. Because do y'all remember how Arthur Smith was salivating at that Georgia pro day? Oh, but they said that man Arthur Smith wouldn't leave Brock Bowers' side.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
So,
I don't blame him. Shoot,
no, but I'm saying, so that means that Arthur Smith finally realized that I can't really do nothing with Kyle Pitts, and I think this coaching staff starting to realize the same thing. And that's why Zach Robinson plays don't look like they supposed to look, because a couple of them plays really supposed to go to the tight end, but they don't trust him.
No, some of them plays just stupid, but I do give this staff credit because they don't have an attachment to Pitts, and you can see that even though Raheem would dress it up as the stats for losers crap and all that, but you can see that they from the jump, like week 1, they had Charlie Warner starting. Like they don't have no attachment to him, and that's one thing I do appreciate. They're not sitting there holding on to Pitts just because he was the 4th overall pick. They didn't draft him. And you could tell in the last couple of weeks that they haven't forced Pitts to be out. Like they literally have him sitting on the sideline half the time. I appreciate that.
Yeah. And see, that's where you're gonna dog.
Eventually, they get him off the team. They'll really be happy then.
I mean, I think he's Terry's guy. He's Terry's guy. We're gonna see, but the coaching staff hasn't. You know how they go politics, where it's like, oh, we got a guy, so we got to play him this and that. No, that's one thing I would say I appreciate about the coaching staff. Like you see, they're not trying to force him on the field. Like, because if you count the number of targets and the snaps he's getting, like he's basically the 4th option. Ray would get more targets than him at one point.
Yeah, well,
and see
that. But now we might be a little conflicted now, Keely, because even though Pitts screwed up that interception for Penix first start, he did catch a touchdown pass for him.
I don't care. Like, bro,
well, I know we don't. I'm saying Penix might trust him a little bit more now.
I put like this: one touchdown can erase all the BS that I've seen. Like he gonna have to score 14 touchdowns to erase all the like. Bro, like I said,
I wonder did that touchdown erase that interception that he got for Penix? I'm talking about in Penix's mind. Not in our mind. I know in our mind he trash. I'm talking about in Penix's mind.
To me, it's just the effort thing. For me, it's not even the whole touchdown or it's the effort, like the whole pulling your hands back, the whole running lazy routes because you're not getting the ball pouting and all that.
Now, I will say where I really do agree with you about that is if we did still have like a Hayden Hurst, this offense would be a lot more dangerous because you will have somebody who can block, who willing to go through the middle. Hayden Hurst really, see, this is why I didn't understand Arthur Smith, because Hayden Hurst really wasn't no bad tight end. And
he's still playing well. I'm trying to think where he at now. Like after he left, he had a decent year.
Yeah.
No, he was with Baltimore for a while.
Well, that would be for us. I'm talking about like after he left, I think he might have went to Cincinnati.
He still did good. I think he went to Carolina, didn't he?
Oh, see, I'm gonna tell you something else too.
I don't feel like looking at that.
I don't know whether you remember. I don't know whether you guys remember that play that Washington ran, where the tight end faked the block and then came out onto the left side wide open because everybody else had gone to the end zone. Now, that's where I want to get at Zach Robinson, because plays like that, that's how you get your tight end open. Make other people pay attention to other things, and you scheme your tight end open by doing things like that. But I don't see that type of imagination. I don't see that type of innovation.
I hate the only thing about it. I hate pacifying the baby. Like win your route. I don't want to scheme nothing up for this little baby that's pouting on the court. Like Arthur Smith was doing that for him. Arthur Smith was doing that, like scheming plays up for him because this little baby needs help getting open. No, win your matchup.
Now,
Like,
I will say Ben Kurt said that thing he don't like about Zach Robinson is the spacing he give his receivers. He like the spacing started off good because he break down our tape every so often. He said now toward the end of the season, it's starting to look like all of your receivers. And I've seen a couple of people who break down our all 22 say the same thing. The spacing with our receivers is just horrible. Well, like, why is everybody right? And that's the same complaint we had about Arthur Smith spacing. Why are all our receivers in the same freaking area?
But the thing with the thing here's my primary complaint with Zach. A lot of the thing like there's no creativity in it. It's very predictable and like it's no creativity. Like the argument against Arthur Smith was that he got too cute. They was like, oh, he got too fancy. He's doing too much window dressing. He's doing too much. Like you got your tight end running a jet sweep, this and that. However, I would take Arthur Smith any day over Zach. Like when
I see what you're saying though, because I'm gonna tell you when I noticed our lack of creativity, and it was at the beginning of the season, that Kansas City game. When I started seeing what Andy Reid was pulling out of his book of tricks on us, I said, damn, this man creative as fuck. Like, we ain't got that kind of creative OC. Like,
look at what Arthur Smith did against Pittsburgh, and then look at what Zach Robinson did against Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I remember that.
Oh yeah,
he did that with Mariota.
Nobody for real.
He did that with Mariota.
Something else too. When we were James, you still here, right?
Yeah, I'm here.
James, do you remember we were breaking down a formation where they had 4 wide receivers on one side? And you remember I was saying I like that. And all 4 of the wide receivers, 3 of the wide receivers went 10 yards, possibly 12 yards before they busted out going in every other direction. And I said, wait, why the hell are y'all doing that? And waiting that doggone long to spread out and go other places. And one thing about it, Penix and Kirk Cousins have 5 seconds to throw. Offensive line give them all the time in the world. And the thing is, I said, this is what y'all come up with. And those are the plays y'all come up with. And y'all sit up here and design these plays here where, you got, receivers bunched up. 2 receivers will be just like to your point, Keely. 2 receivers will be within 5 yards of each other, 15, 20 yards down the field. It just doesn't make any sense. I could design better plays like that on Madden my damn self. I mean, it's just pathetic. And see, that's where I have this problem with first year on the job training, offensive coordinators, and defensive coordinators too. That's why I had it. Because see, like I said, Raheem Morris should have gotten a hellified offensive coordinator so that he could pay attention to the defense. Okay, because that's his side of the ball. Even though he was wide receivers coach, that was a misfit. But he went right back to the defensive side of the ball, got a Super Bowl ring out there in Los Angeles. Okay, now I know you understand offense, true enough. But your calling card, your forte, your expertise is on the defense. So that means, just like Dan Quinn, and we went over this earlier today. Keely said something about it. Dan Quinn went and hired when he came here, Kyle Shanahan, when he went to doggone Washington, you got Cliff Kingsbury, former head coach, offensive coordinator, quarterback coach, experience. Okay, somebody experienced, But these boy, they about bad as the damn Hawks front office. It's
Did you have Clint Kubiak out there too at the time?
Gary or Clint?
Gary, whichever the son or the nephew, the youngest one.
See, I don't know. I don't know because Gary Kubiak, he was having some major health issues. I wanted him. I really wanted him.
Yeah, Kubiak. I'll take Kubiak any day. The son is in New Orleans.
Yeah, he draw up better plays than Zach Robinson. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, I mean,
he ain't got no talent down there, but he good.
Yeah, I mean, but gentlemen,
they said Zach Robinson gonna get a head coach. I remember the folks talking about Zach Robinson in a head coaching spot.
Nah, it is a couple of college teams that want him for real.
Well, take him. They can take him.
They can have it, and see, it'll be a chance to correct the problem. It'll be a chance to correct the problem. Well, gentlemen, I don't intend. Well, this is kind of where we wanted to be, about a couple of hours, and I hope we done got some more steam off. I have because man,
I still think tomorrow, John.
That
I still think I might go on a rant tomorrow about him on my show.
We're going. Hey, Red, go ahead.
I know my co-host will. Boy, you've been dogging him out all week.
Because see, this makes the second show I did today because I was just in the Bird Gang group and I said, man, you know what? I'm gonna open this up to the eye test and let people come on in here because I know it wasn't just me that wanted to fuss about it.
And let me tell you, my co-host definitely caught the 92.9 interview because he should have posted that. So like I say, I know we're gonna be going in on tomorrow. So I don't know if I might calm down and just let him roast them real good. Knowing him, I might join in for a few. Just depends.
Yeah. Cause see, thing is, after Sunday, potentially this over with.
No, that's the problem. It was supposed to be over with.
That's the problem.
We got nothing. Feel like we got nothing to play for because if New Orleans, if we look at that score and see Tampa up by a lot, we ain't really all we doing is playing for stats.
Yeah, we just going through the motions. We just going through the motions. And see, thing is, that's why games like that Sunday are so important, and you just can't rest on those games. You got to leave it all out on the field. You can't be having these brain farts. You can't be doing stupid mess because you got to live with this. You got to live with this for 8 freaking months.
Right.
Okay. You got to live with this.
And then the worst thing, the least you can do is be accountable about it. I mean, we got to go into the off season with a coach that probably over half the fan base, and as of today, right now, over half the fan base think you a certified moron, and then you go on 92.9 and make it even worse by you want to die on that hill. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, Red, there's a saying that I heard a long time ago.
I already know. I'm gonna be talking about this tomorrow, John.
There's a saying that I heard a long time ago. Better to be thought a fool than to open your mouth and remove all doubt.
Right. Oh my God. That's right. Cause see now the radio host think you a moron. It was worse. It was okay when it was just the fans. Now you got radio hosts thinking you a moron. One of them basically called you one. That's what you got so upset about. They basically said, "Why in the world did you not take the time?" I mean, that's what he upset about folks questioning his intelligence and leadership. But dude, everybody this week has been questioning you. The TV shows, the first takes, all the podcasts I've been listening to, our radio shows, all the Falcons content creators. Dude, you are the fool of the week. You the dummy of the week, man. So you need to just own that right there. And going off on our radio host, that didn't make it no better.
Well, all right, gentlemen. I'm gonna Because I'll probably be fussing about the Hawks here in a minute. Because I know they're gonna have a post game show or whatever.
They still a little close. You know how Hawks they play to the end.
Yeah, this about over with. So, hey, Richard, don't be no stranger, baby. King Richard, don't be no stranger. I ain't got to ask James. James gonna be all.
I chat with you today, King.
Yeah, he probably done left. But
okay. All right, Keelan.
But he said his phone service dropped. But hey, man, appreciate you coming in. Appreciate everybody coming in. Tune in to Red and Rev. Y'all doing 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock?
Oh, probably go 11 o'clock tomorrow. So there ain't no game. Ain't no early game. Probably do 11 a.m. So Red and Rev show 11 a.m. tomorrow. My page and YouTube. Come everybody. Join us. Enjoy.
Yes, sir. And Keely, well, I asked you what you were doing this weekend. I woke you up then. I woke you up.
I saw you go live. I was like, well, I know he mad about something, and you got a second show going.
Yeah, man. Well, really, this make my third doggone show, like I said. But thing is that hey, glad to have you. You know, anytime I'm on, y'all can come on. You know, we can sit up here and split this thing up and examine this thing, tear it apart, break it down, and then give a verdict on what's going on.
Man, it's gonna be a bittersweet Sunday.
Yeah. I mean, this gonna be hard to watch Sunday. It's gonna be real hard to watch. But
now, let me ask you this, John, before we go. If the Saints do look up and win, for the first time, I ain't gonna lie, I might think something was rigged because there's no way in hell the Saints should go into Tampa Bay and beat them when Tampa Bay got the division to play for. But like I say, stranger things have happened, but that would be too strange.
Yeah. But my fan base, and before I leave, I got to say this. You Atlanta Falcons fans who are turning into Saints fans just because you want the Saints to beat Tampa Bay in order for you to get into the playoffs, what kind of Falcon fans are you? I'm just asking the question.
For real.
I'm just asking the question.
I ain't never cheered. Saints, you can do whatever you want to. I ain't cheering for you. Still the Saints. Do whatever you want.
If you're a Falcons fan, you're a Falcons fan. Win, lose, draw, whatever. Hey, and the only thing you can do is point your finger at the team. I posted in the Bird Gang and everywhere else when Tampa Bay lost and we got the division back. I said, you got this, Tiger. Can you hold him? Can you hold him? And this Washington game was you trying to hold the Tiger. You should have been able to hold the Tiger. But you didn't. So now we're in this predicament. So, hey.
Tiger was almost put in the cage if you had to call the time out.
There you go. Simple stuff that you should have done that bit you in the ass. Okay? Stupid stuff. But, gentlemen, James, well, I already asked you what you were doing this weekend, James. And hey, man, it's getting cold out there. Y'all batten down the hatches because next week is dropping. You're gonna really get some winter here next week. Might get a little snow. So y'all just take care of yourselves and be careful when you're out there in the public. Keep your head on a swivel because you just never know what's going to happen. Just watch out for yourselves and be careful. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I am gone.
All right, now.